Hello friends and welcome to LKP's weekly commodity outlook. I am Jateen Trivedi and I shall enlighten you with some key important triggers for this week's commodity market outlook, and we shall discuss about some key important trends and levels for commodities market this week. So let's get started. First and foremost, gold prices. As we all know that gold prices have been scaling a little bit higher from last week prices this week. Also, it has been a great start for gold prices this week as we are seeing the prices holding above the $1,800 mark in the WTI in the COMEX market spot gold, and respectively on the domestic front in Indian markets it is hovering around the levels of around 49,000 beyond, and we are looking at the levels of around 48,500 to 48,600 as a base support for this week, and on the upside we can look for the targets of around 49,500 to 49,600 as a potential upside target. Being the reason and a rationale behind it is that the coronavirus numbers have steadily rising, but there are some good news as well that the number of cases are getting recovered very sharply. So this might keep the gold prices in some tight range, as we see some riskier assets also performing like the US dollar, and the equity markets are also seen as a performing assets recently. So gold prices might keep trading in this 1,000 point barrier range between 48,500 to 49,500 in this week, unless and until there is some major trigger about some vaccine or some medicine, or if and all there is some strong news that the second wave or the first wave which is going on moves up very strongly in number of cases rising, then we might see gold prices scaling higher beyond 14,500 as well. Next on the cards is the silver prices. As you all know that silver prices have been rising very sharply, and we have seen that the silver prices have reached the all important mark of 50,000 recently, and in our previous videos as well we have been recommending silver prices as a very bullish commodity in coming days and coming weeks as well. We are looking at silver prices beyond 54,000 to around 55,000 in coming few weeks. Till the time it is holding the levels of 49,000, we are having a very good strong recommendation on silver prices as a uptrend move. So we would advise to keep buying on dips, keep accumulation strategy in silver as well, and look for opportunities, and the levels of around 54,000 look very much on the cards. Speaking about silver prices in the domestic international front, it has scaled beyond the $19.50 mark recently, which was the biggest hurdle. As of now, we have seen silver prices quoting at multi-year highs, more than 7-year highs prices, in fact, and we are seeing the silver prices quoting very strongly on the upside in domestic markets. It has given a very strong close on week-to-week basis. It has given a very strong close, which has been registered as a 7-year high weekly close, which is after closing above 50,500. So I recommend to be keep your long positions intact in silver prices, and also look to buy it on dips. So that is about it, the bullion market. We now move on to the energy market. In the energy pack, crude and natural gas have been trading in a very tight range. Speaking about crude prices, we have been recommending to trade in the tight range of 3,100 on the higher side and 2,900 on the lower side. As of now, it is still trading in this tight range. The market is anticipating and waiting for a strong update from the OPEC and OPEC Plus about the supply cuts, or they are going to increase the supply or they are going to decrease the supply. That is going to be a tricky situation, and it might wait for the updates of OPEC and OPEC Plus, which is going to come out in next couple of days, and then the crude prices might take some strong triggers and start a new trend in it. So wait for some updates from us from our side about the crude market as well. Next on the cards is natural gas prices. Natural gas prices, as we have seen, have been quoting in a very tight range between 125 to 140 on the higher side, and last week it has been a very good week for natural gas prices as well, as it has been for all the commodities as well. And for this week, natural gas prices are looking at levels of around 130 on the lower side, and 138 to 139 on the higher side in a tight range, unless and until it is closing below, trading below 140 on week to week basis. We are quite range bound in natural gas prices as well. Moving on to the last segment, our base metal prices. As we have seen, the base metal prices have been rising very strongly on back of strong numbers from the China, and we have seen some good amount of industrial outputs and numbers from China. Also, the US numbers are also coming out pretty good. The manufacturing numbers, the industrial good numbers, the industrial production numbers, these all numbers have been rising, and they have been surprisingly rising, and the base metal price are trying to price in all the positivity numbers about the industrial numbers and manufacturing numbers. And also the prices are also anticipating some vaccine or some medicine coming out, hence we have seen the riskier markets also performing well. Uh, Talking about the levels in base metals, copper has breached the very important mark of 500, a landmark which it has not been crossing since like a couple of years now. And now that it has crossed the levels of 500, it will be important to see if and all it starts trading above it on week to week basis. So as of now, it does look like it might keep trading on the higher side. So for this week, we are recommending copper with a support of around 495 to 494. One can go long at the levels of around 500 to 499 with strict stop loss below 494, and upside potential can be around the levels of 510 to 515. That is for the copper prices. Next on the cards is a very much of a very momentum counter in base metal, which we have seen last week as well. That is the nickel prices, as we have been recommending strongly on the nickel front that once it starts trading above 980, it is going to show a very strong bullish trend in the prices, and that it has already shown. It has already crossed the 1030 mark, and now we are looking at the levels of around 1050 to 1065 on coming next couple of days to 1 week, 1 week's time. For this week, I am recommending to be keep holding long positions in nickel prices as well, with a strict stop loss below 1018, that is 1018, and for the upside potential of around 1040 and 1050. In other base metal prices, zinc prices are also shooting up. In fact, I would just like to give you an update that last week has been a very strong commodities week, as we have seen all the non-agri, non-agri and energy packs and bullions performing very strongly and giving very strong closing on week to week basis. All the non-agro commodities have risen from like about 2% to 8%, between 2% to 8% on the positive side. So this has been a historical week last week that we have seen. So judging by the trend in commodity prices, we are still quite bullish on the commodities, each and every non-agro commodities, that is the bullions, the base metals, the energies. I think all the commodities are going to start shooting up and keep trending on the higher side. So uh, trade very cautiously on the short side if you are trading for short sides. We are not recommending as of now any short trades, but if and all you do trade on the shorter side, it is advised to be very strictly trading with stop losses. So that is it from us, guys. Hope to see you all next week. Happy trading.